Today's dish runneth deep.
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
Pizza is everybody's yes food. Sure, you got your gluten intolerance, but with gluten-free crust, even they can say yes. You got your lactose intolerance, but with cashew cheese, they say yes. You got your tomato intolerance, but with white pizza, they too say yes. And you have those people who think it's unique and hip to hate something everybody else loves, but it's not. And pizza is the greatest, and you will say yes. Say yes to pizza. It's everybody's yes food.
Yes, but the debate we're seeking to settle in this episode is which style of pizza is the best. And we're inspired by today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with thousands of classes that can help you find a new passion project, unlock career opportunities, and fuel lifelong learning.
And as a special offer to you mythical beasts, the first 5,000 people to sign up at Skillshare.com/GMM will get a free 2-month trial.
The Skillshare class that brought today's episode about is called How to Make Perfect Thin Crust Pizza, which in and of itself is awesome, but there are so many more awesome classes. For instance, lifestyle photography, capturing inspiring visual stories. Maybe it'll inspire me to finally get back on Instagram.
And another one that really interested me was t-shirt screen printing for beginners, because I was able to make this t-shirt.
Pizza is my yes food. Okay, let's determine once and for all which pizza style is the best pizza style. It's time for When We Go Tasting Piles of Different Pizza Styles. That's this episode.
Sponsored by Skillshare. Okay, we're gonna be pitting 8 pizza styles against each other in a head-to-head tournament. We're gonna taste 2 slices, then send our favorite one to the next round. And we like toppings a lot, but we're keeping these to just cheese in order to focus on the style.
Now, we're defining a pizza style as the way it's constructed, baked, or eaten, so not based on the toppings. Let's eat some freaking pizza.
Up first, we got the battle of the Italian styles, and we know that there are other styles that are popular in Italy, but we went with these 2 because they're the most popular here in the US. We got Neapolitan versus Sicilian. So we got this Neapolitan from Desano in Los Angeles. Typically, this is like your more like personal pizza, like a 10-inch diameter, very thin dough that has lots of gluten for a high chew factor, made in a wood-burning oven, and then it has a puffy end crust called a cornicione.
Cornicione. Dink it. This is a good morning. Oh yeah, it's chewy in a great way.
It's not crunchy.
Nope, it's floppy. I don't dislike a flop.
Nope, that's good.
All right, and the Sicilian came from Tomato Pie here in Los Angeles. As you can see, it's rectangular. Grab that one, Rhett. Usually served with a thick crust and often heavy in garlic. Nice dinker, sinker.
I don't have a bias for or against thin versus thick. I'm gonna say that coming in. But in tasting these side by side, the bread is doing too much of the work. The bread's doing too much of the heavy lifting in this particular slice, because it's not like there's a whole lot of stuff on top of the thick crust.
Yeah, I agree. I am a little biased towards a thicker crust when there's also a lot of cheese and a lot of other stuff.
Right.
But
the balance is off.
I'm surprising myself with, I don't know, just like you said, the balance is pretty great here.
This one's pretty easy for me.
Neapolitan is my vote.
Okay, so we are sending the Neapolitan on to the next round.
Now we got the battle of the tri-state area, baby! Sorry. New Yorkers are very, very serious about their pizza. So we're gonna see if the world-renowned New York style is really all it's cracked up to be against the much more regional neighbor New Haven style.
Okay, we got this New York style from Vito's in Hollywood. Again, it's large, thin, hand-tossed crust. A lot of people think that it has something to do with the New York water, which encourages the minerals, encourage gluten development. This is LA water. That's all we could get. And this is the one that is usually folded in half by respectable people who are eating it.
You can just clobber it, man. You fold it and just clobber it.
I'm a little nervous about how much I'm going to eat if I don't pace myself.
So it's up against the New Haven pizza, which we got from Urban Pizza in San Diego. It's very crisp, thin crust, somewhere between New York and Neapolitan. It's cooked in a coal oven. which is different and interesting.
I mean, look, that's the thinnest pizza I've ever seen.
Yeah. This is like an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, it's something they would bring around on a tray at a fancy party. And of course, I would eat the entire tray.
But you'd still be hungry because it's kind of skimpy.
The taste is very good, but it does not compete with this.
No,
Look
it
at
doesn't.
that. So speaking of balance, I mean, the cheese ratio to the crust, I gotta eat some more. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While he keeps eating, all of it probably, New York moves on.
Yes. Okay, now we got the battle of the Chicago styles. Everybody knows about deep dish, but there's a style much less talked about, Chicago thin crust. Mm-hmm. Well, let's start with the deep dish. This is from Taste Chicago here in LA. It's a buttery, thick crust that often contains cornmeal. And then, this is something I didn't know, they use sliced cheese instead of shredded cheese, so you get a lot more concentrated cheese, and usually eaten with a knife and fork, so we will follow suit.
Oh, it's a mouthful of goodness, man. When you get this, you never think to yourself, am I getting my money's worth? Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here.
A slice will do you.
Dense is the word all the way around.
We're so dense.
For the Chicago thin crust, we got this from Rance's, and you've got a center cut piece, but mine has the crust on it, which demonstrates that there's not. Whoa!
Sorry, I'm so excited about
pizza! Yes! That the crust is very minimal, which is a great concept. You know, toppings go almost all the way to the edge.
Now, it just kind of tastes like New York pizza.
I'd say there's more emphasis on the cheese
I'm about to
than
eat
the
whole
sauce. So
Almost no sauce.
I disagree. It's much more cheese forward.
It's almost like a flatbread. You know what I'm saying? Just a cheesy flatbread.
This is difficult. I mean, one of the greatest culinary experiences I had was the first time I had deep dish pizza in Chicago.
I feel like all of Chicago would come and knock down our door if we did not push thick crust through.
Well, they'd blow the house down with the wind and all.
Yes. Okay, so you agree with me? We're sending the deep through?
This is great, but this is iconic. And now we got the battle of the non-Chicago Midwest pizzas, Detroit versus St. Louis. But now before you comment about it, we didn't include any pizza styles west of St. Louis because they're mostly just variations on the 8 styles that we are testing. Yes. Don't add us.
That's right. Okay, starting with Detroit, which is new to me, never had it. This is from Pedrino's in Sherman Oaks. Sherman Oaks is home to celebrities like Chase Hilt.
Oh.
This has got extra thick crust with a crispy bottom, sometimes double baked, and then we've got extra cheese baked onto the crust.
Oh my goodness.
So like they put shredded cheese on top of that. So I'm gonna get one with crust and one without.
Yeah, so it's got that deep dishness. Man, that's a good crust.
A little light on the sauce. Mm-hmm. But a lot of stuff is working there.
But a lot of types of cheese and deep dishness. All right, so from St. Louis, we have what appears to be like a Chicago thin crust, but it's more crackery. This is an unleavened crust, no yeast. Oh yeah, and that's taut under there. There's a special cheese that they got here called Provel, which is a mix of provolone,
Is that
Swiss,
Provel?
and white cheddar.
Huh, yes.
Does the cheese taste different to you?
A little sharper. But I hate to
Wow.
say this. It almost has like a frozen pizza taste to it. There's something about the flavor profile that just hit me that made me think I just took it out of a box in my freezer.
That's harsh, man.
I'm sorry.
I actually think it's good. I think the cheese is
Oh,
interesting.
it's good. I eat pizza out of the freezer all the time.
Again, when you it's you know, there's not much to it. It's very thin. It's hors d'oeuvre-ish. You know, you're gonna eat a whole pizza here in no time flat, or you're just gonna be hoping for more.
Come back to this. Get on the Detroit train with me. What do they call the train in Detroit?
The people mover.
Get on the people mover! Detroit! Going through? Mm-hmm. All right, we've got Neapolitan versus New York style. Okay,
Let's go back in with the Neo.
This is gonna be tough because I can't even get it in my mouth.
I would just call that refined. You know, it is what it is, and it's very good for what it is.
And I know that this is a traditional style. The thing I love about Neapolitan usually is all the stuff that they put on it in that oven, and it gets kind of creative. But that's not what I'm judging. I'm judging the style, and I like it. It's got a lot going for it. But New York, you fold it over. I mean, you know, people are opinionated about every aspect of it. It's the water, it's how you fold it, it's the size, it's everything. And it tastes really good.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes so good.
People travel from the far corners of the world to New York City. And what do they have to do? They gotta eat this pizza.
There's something about, not just the construction, but the size. This is a perfect size of pizza to just take and be like, get back on your bird scooter. What do they have? What do they have? Your city bike. Get on your city bike and one hand as you go around that dirty city. So we're sending New York on?
I'm saying it's not easy, but yes, I'm saying New York moves forward. Detroit deep versus Chicago deep.
I know you're supposed to use a fork, but I'm in the mood.
Wow, that's
The
amazing.
sauce is on top. I know you said that before, but it's a little bit weird, but good.
I had a version of that Chicago deep dish that it had a whole big circle of sausage underneath it.
Lou Malnati's.
There wasn't a moment that didn't have sausage. That was a dream. But this is a revelation to me.
The cheese on top of the crust. Okay, here's the thing. These are both great pizzas. They're both deep dish. They have a lot going for them. Link's eating both of them at the same time, trying to get some sort of knowledge. But you know what? Detroit has been through a really rough time. It's been a tough time for that city.
Is that what you're gonna do?
The auto industry just abandoned them, and they're sitting up there. There's whole blocks just completely abandoned. Stray dogs running around.
But the pizza's awesome.
Detroit is rising from its ashes. Like a phoenix, not Phoenix, that's Arizona. Like Detroit, this pizza is thick and hearty and topped with an unexpected layer of cheese on the crust.
So we're going with Chicago deep dish pizza.
No! We are sending Detroit through, in my opinion. It's better. It just tastes better. It's a revelation to me. It's new. It's different. I like it.
And it's crunchy on the ends. Yeah, Detroit. So for the championship of pizza styles, we have New York versus Detroit. Who knew? I didn't. Didn't fold it over that time.
It's still good.
Mm-hmm.
But Detroit.
Any time of day or night.
Look at that cheese.
Grab yourself a slice.
Look at that cheese. Look at that. Just look at it hanging on. Okay, let me just tell you. I learned a second thing about Detroit pizza just a second ago. And that is the pans that they use in order to get that crispy crust are actually called Detroit Blue Steel pizza pans.
Blue Steel?
They used to use in the auto industry to hold like nuts and bolts and stuff like that.
That makes it taste great.
They started, it does, it's a story. There's a history. Think about those hard-working people sitting there, they got their nuts in a pan, and they're like, I'm gonna go eat out of this pan that my nuts have been in all day.
They're not dirty pans. They're clean, unused versions.
It's the same material.
Well, the thing that I find out, I'm told that Detroit style is the style that is used at Little Caesars. So I'm voting for New York.
Why'd you have to go and do that to me?
What's your vote? We're gonna have to duke it out. Are you with me? Pizza.
So you're, oh gosh. Don't do that to me. Seriously, Little Caesars is Detroit style?
Yeah.
The man from Michigan just confirmed that. Okay, New York wins.
Congratulations, New York! But Detroit, hey, you got some good pizza, and we're coming for you.
Okay, thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring today's episode. Get a free 2-month trial to take unlimited online classes, connect with peers, and discover new opportunities. Go to Skillshare.com/GMM for that.
Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
You know what time it is.
Hi, I'm Justin.
I'm Austin.
I'm Ethan.
Jonathan.
Alex. And we're from Omaha, Nebraska. And it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
They didn't even try to catch it.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna come back down into their hands, but no. Click the top link to watch us taste the crew's favorite pizzas and give Mythical more.
And to find out where the wheel of mythicality is gonna land.
6 stickers, bruh. Where'd you get them?
Mythical.store, bruh.
So sick, bruh.
Totally, bruh. I just put them all over my board, bruh.
So sick, bruh.
Yeah.